Well, back for the new season. How's the summer preparations been so far?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, happy where we're at. Yeah, just 2 more weeks to go and we're back at it.
Yeah, exciting times. Yeah, really exciting. It's been an eventful sort of summer, getting sort of bringing players, speaking to players. But I think we've got exactly what we've wanted. Club have backed us on that, so thanks to them. But it's everything feels as though over the last sort of couple of weeks started to pick up a bit of momentum, and just buzzing to get going.
If we go back to when you guys came in the middle of last season, how much of a challenge is it for you guys to come into a new club, unfamiliar with how things work and sort of look to make an impact?
Yeah, I think when we took it, we knew this was about the summer, coming in the summer, having our input on it. It was a difficult time. A lot of players leaving. Also, talking to players, we was in a position where we weren't going anywhere. So it wasn't really a time to bring in a lot of players. Only players that we had to bring in just for make the numbers up.
Yeah, you made the point there that we definitely had a lot of rotation in the playing squad at the end of last season, but a lot of the players that were there before are still here now. What was it about them that you guys liked and wanted to keep around?
They wanted to stay. I think when we first arrived, I think it is a completely flip to where we're at now. I think it was like, for speaking to a lot of the players, here we go again, new management team. Some of them didn't actually know myself and Jono personally, it got to a stage where we were just sort of not begging the players, but sort of give us a sort of month and then see where you're at. And I think a lot jumped ship early doors. But luckily the ones that did stay went on to reasonably sort of successful end to the season.
Yeah, when at the start of you guys' tenure here, the results were a little bit up and down, as is to be expected with such a squad in transition. But we did finish the season strongly. I think 13 or 14 league matches unbeaten, and we won the cup here on the last home game of the season. What do you guys think was the sort of turning point in the season that sort of was the catalyst to that change?
I think it was just getting to February time, where we spoke beforehand. We sort of cut the budget back, ready for February, March to try and bring in a couple of players that we wanted for next year. And Shams come in, Flatty come in, and they hit the ground running, and they got the momentum going with everything. And it's a big part of it.
Yeah, I think on that as well, and a bit of structure to our setup. I think we come in and we needed to sort of make these boys believe in what we wanted, and what we wanted was going in the right direction. And I think a lot of them did buy into that. Results help, last minute goals, they all help. But I think if you need to get them players, especially when it's a new lot that you don't really know, you need to get them on board. And make them believe, even if they're not thinking it, you need to make them believe what we're doing is right. And we did get a little bit lucky in certain games and stuff, but you create your own luck, and there was no, the last minute goals, one after the other towards the end of the year it wasn't just luck. You make that happen. So we were lucky in that sense, weren't we?
Yeah. What was the mood in the dressing room like during that run? Obviously, it was a little bit bleak at the start, but as we said, the results changed, and people started to put in bigger performances.
Yeah, I think the mood in there changed. Going back, you scored a last minute goal. I think the win here against Naphill at the end, goalie off the line from Tom Smith. Those little moments galvanise a change room, and go back, bringing in Flatty, who's a character, who doesn't care. There's no filter on him. He brought a big part of that together.
You mentioned obviously Flatty and Shams, two players that you guys brought in towards the middle end of last season, had a massive impact on that sort of unbeaten run. How important was it for you guys to keep those guys central to your plans this season?
Yeah, massively, and rightly so. They deserved it. It was I think they were the sort of first sort of players that we tried to speak to, and characters. If we want to achieve sort of good things this season, you need big characters. And echoing what Jono says there with Flatty, he doesn't have a filter. You could scream into him 1 minute, you can praise him the next, and it's all sort of, he just takes it on board and on he goes. And obviously with Shams, what Shams brings is that just electric pace. And in the side we could be coming up against a lot of teams this season that want to sort of sit in and with Shams' pacing behind, he's vital to have on board.
Yeah, I think Lamar and Matty Sermon, they need a mention. I think Lamar coming in, I think it was a driving force in there and set the tone for most games. And then Matty, great attitude, come in at a real good time. Just unfortunate, he picked up his injury, which made him miss the last part.
Yeah, echo that on Lamar and Matty, obviously. But it's where the two boys are scoring all the goals and getting all the attributes up top. He was the engine room in there, Lamar, and brought a lot of bite and a lot of good character off the pitch. He's a moany little fucker, but but the boys respond to that, and that's a big part of this squad.
Yeah, the end of season run last year obviously culminated with the Southern Combination Cup final held here at home, well over 1,000 fans in attendance, which we won in the last minute thanks to Owen Dean's header. Was it a foul? Was it a header? Who knows? But moments like that, like you say, the little moments, but also the big moments is what sort of brings a club and a town together. How vital do you think that moment was in terms of galvanising the squad ahead of this season?
Yeah. To finish with a trophy, it was a great way to finish the season from where it started to what it was and the momentum that built to win it. Owen Dean, coming through the youth and whatnot, and being local, for him to score a hat-trick in the winner, it's just a perfect icing on the cake.
So looking ahead to the new season, obviously the last season ended a little bit late with that cup final win. Did that maybe hamper any of your plans to bring players in, or was it not a big factor?
I don't think so. I actually think the cup run towards the end and winning the cup gave us that little bit of an edge up, and a few of the players that were interested did come and sort of sample what they could get used to, and I think that's a good thing. And pretty much that. Really.
Yeah, I think we haven't really hidden from the fact that we want to be challenging at the top of the league next season and sort of push for promotion, and in doing so we went out there and did most of our business really early. So we'll touch on a few of those players now. I guess maybe the most notable player that you guys brought in was Daz, who you guys have worked with before. What do you think he's going to bring, and how big of a coup do you think that was for us? Yeah,
I think it's massive. He was, but everyone we wanted, we got, but he was one that, was desperate to get in. Like you say, we worked with him before. He's just for the crowd. He's a crowd pleaser. He's lovely on the eye, and he's just going to bring so much. He's going to bring goals. He's going to bring assists. He's going to bring enjoyment. The players love him. We love him. Just everything about him.
I think what gets overlooked as well is his work rate off the ball. He does go and set that press, doesn't he? We said the other day he's intelligent with his press, gets the boys with him. So for all the good things that he does, and he's been excellent with the ball, off the ball as well, which is just as important. He's excellent, and he's a real good lad. Takes on board exactly what we want. He knows what we want, and having them sort of people within the squad was an absolute joy.
Yeah, he just loves playing football.
We brought in quite a few players that have played the step above and even the step above that. One of those players being Harry Cooksley, who came in from Hartley Wintney. What do you think he's going to bring to the side?
Yeah, well, I see Cooksley play a few times. I've never previously met him before, just seen him play, and being a midfielder myself, just his composure on the ball, his ability to see things before anyone else. He's 2-3 touches and the ball's gone. He's going to be a massive asset for Daz in there, and just generally in the changing room. Everyone I spoke to said how good he is in the changing room, and he's living up to that. He's a real good lad.
Yeah, he brings a sense of calmness as well. As a back four, rolling the ball into him on a back foot, he just brings that sort of natural sort of calmness and just keeps the ball ticking over, doesn't overdo it, knows his capabilities, and echoing exactly what Jono says in terms of his character, real great lad. He's not come in because he's played in the sort of few divisions above and sort of given it the sort of big time. He's just got on with the group extremely well, and chuffed to have him.
And then one of the other players we introduced on that sort of signing day, which sort of took the non-league by storm, was Charlie up top. Obviously, you guys have worked with him before as well. He was a top scorer in our division last year. What was the thoughts behind bringing him back in?
Charlie was, like you say, someone we worked with before. He just brings something totally different to what we got. You know, his frame, his height, he's unbelievable in the air when the ball's going in the box. Again, he's another one, great lad, good character, just wants to get on with it, works his bollocks off. But yeah, he was one we just thought we got Shams with the pace, we got Lammin with the pace, we got an Owen Dean, we've got a Flatty that can link up. We just thought we needed a vocal person in there, especially with some of the assets that we got in the team.
Yeah, I think he's going to bring a different edge and a different factor to the attack, and gives us the opportunity to go in multiple different formations.
Massively. We're going to be tested in all sorts of fronts this season, and like Jono says, it just gives us a great option. You know, we might have to sort of bypass the midfield at times and look to go a little bit more direct, and Charlie's the ideal person to have on board. Set pieces, as it's well known, with obviously guys throws, you know, it's a weapon, and to have someone like Charlie attacking the ball in the box is an absolute nightmare for defenders. So yeah, great to have him.
Well, probably the position group that we've added to the most is probably the defence, the back four, and you mentioned Guy there, brought him in. Have you guys worked with him before? And again, same with the other guys. Like, what do you think he brings to the team?
Yeah, I played with Guy. I played with Guy many years back. A couple of clubs at Ashford and at Coleshorten, and we used to car share and stuff. Yeah, again, he's just a leader. He's a winner. He's got a horrible side to him. He'll be the club captain. So yeah, he's gonna bring a lot. He brings with him his throw. He reads the game well. He's got good range of passing. You know, yeah, he's just an all-round. You know, what we're looking for at the back.
And then alongside him, we have Ryan, who's come in from Berkhamsted. Did you guys want to bring in as many defenders as you have done? And what was it about Ryan that you liked so much?
He's massive.
Yeah, he's massive, and he moans. He moans a lot, which is something like we don't have. But again, you know, he's moaning. He wants it better. He wants to win. He's a monster of a person. You know, 6'5" or 6'6". And again, he's another one for set pieces. You know, it's where we can be a threat.
We've also brought in a load of leaders, like you've mentioned. You know, Guy will be the captain. Ryan was a captain at his previous club. So was Harry. You know, Michael Kinsella is someone that's been there and done it and seen a lot of success. Jack Dean as well. How important did you find it this summer to sort of bring in a load of veteran leadership into the squad and people that have been there and done it?
I think from our point of view, you can sort of leave them to it to a certain degree. You know, if we prep right, like we always do, you know, there's times that we can only do a certain amount from the side, and to have sort of, like you say, the amount of leaders that we've got within the squad, it pretty much takes care of itself. You know, set pieces, marking, who's doing what. You know, they're all dragging each other forward and pushing in the right direction. And yeah, echo what Jono says there about Ryan. You know, there's certain players that come in and moan, but there's moaning in the right way, and he does that. And I've gone to him a few times this season with general sort of chit chat, and takes it all on board, accepts what we want, and helps us create that within the squad. And it's yeah, him and Guy, perfect sort of leaders at the back there.
And then more recently, we've added 2 other players to the squad. We've brought in Dean Rule from Badshot Lee, and most recently, you guys have brought in Rick Wellard, who you guys have worked with before. What do those players bring to the squad that we didn't have previously?
Yeah, I think bringing in Dean. Dean was coming obviously a week or so ago. One that come about. He just, again, it's another option. You know, he can play in behind. He can play up top. He can play off the left. I think the left-hand side something that we needed to like look at with the way that we play. Just to, if we was to change it, he gives us another option. He knows the league. You know, he's scored last 2 seasons 25 plus goals comfortably in the league. So yeah, it's another. You know, it's more goals in the team.
Looking more towards now what we've done in pre-season, obviously getting all of the business done relatively early. You know, we've had quite a close-knit squad for that entire time. A load of clubs will be having different trialists come in and have quite a big squad and look to whittle down. How much of a benefit do you guys think it has been to have more of a smaller group, but players that you know are going to be there the whole time and be there for the season?
Massive! It's massive for everything. Match days, training especially. We've been with clubs in the past that we've had sort of 15, 20 trialists, and it just kills it. It upsets the players that you sort of really want to work with. Listen, we're not that we could say no to trialists, because that's the part of the game. But when you've got sort of 15, 20 plus trialists, it's just, very hard for individuals to get to know each other. Where we've just got this small knit squad now, I think it's benefited us massively. Seeing a group knit together over the first sort of 3-4 weeks so quickly, being the away game, first season away game, pre-season game where we went away, that was huge. And now when you go into that changing room, it's like they've known each other for a good season or two already, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's been so enjoyable. It's been refreshing. It is to have the group from day one. Yeah, I've enjoyed it so far.
I think that's a big part of myself and Jono. All great on the pitch, but off it as well is just as important. We've said that since we've been working together. It's it's all right concentrating on that, but if you can work on the other side of it as well and bring that togetherness, it works massively on the pitch. That's been a big part of our success over the past sort of 8-9 years or wherever we've been together. So it's big part of it.
Speaking of that togetherness, our first pre-season game was a trip over to the West Country to Malmesbury. Obviously the result didn't necessarily go our way, but how crucial do you think trips like that and bonding experiences are to building a mentality in a squad that's going to go on and challenge?
Yeah, big. Result regarding it was never. We were never there for that. In a way, it sort of got in the way of football. We just kept looking, seeing how long left, ready for the night out. It was good. It was good. It sets the tone, I think, especially so early. Just thrown straight in there. You have to talk to people straight away. And it went to plan.
I think that's important in anything, isn't it? Anything you do, taking time out and spending time with your sort of pals and stuff, just in general life is refreshing, and it's no different to being involved in a football club.
Yeah, you touched on it there, the pre-season results. Largely it don't matter, but I think that we as a club have decided to go and test ourselves quite a lot in pre-season. We've got a lot of Step 4 and Step 3 clubs we're taking on. Was that a conscious decision to try and test ourselves against teams in the league above?
No, not really. I think, no hiding the people that we signed. They played that level, they played above, so no worries about competing with them. I expect us to compete with them. It's more so just with the shape that we want to play. The other teams have a lot of the ball, so we can work with off the ball, and more importantly, just the tempo of the game. We want to get something out of it. We could go and play Step 6, Step 7 sides, and no disrespect, we could most probably go and win those 7, 10, 12-0, whatever it be. Yeah. And what do we get out of it come start of the season? Most probably not as much as what we're getting out of what we're doing now.
Just talking about the pre-season games we have had, recording this now, I think we're 4 games into our now 7-game pre-season schedule. What do you make of the team structure so far in terms of the cohesion on the pitch? Obviously, the formation seems to have changed a little bit from what it was at the back end of last season. Loads of new players. How are they gelling? How are those relationships forming on the pitch? And are you guys happy with where things are at?
Yeah, I think it's gone exactly how we wanted it. I think it was Jono. We spoke at the beginning of the year and talked about this formation that he wanted to play, and it's still reasonably new to us, but it worked in terms of the players that we've got. And I think it sort of showed first game, sort of understand it, but and game by game you can just see the link-up play is starting to flow really well. And I think I said it with an interview with Jack last week. It's some of the best sort of football I've seen since we've been down there such a short period of time. But yeah, we look frightening, I think, at times going forward in the final third. I think going back to last week, we needed to be a little bit more ruthless in front of goal. I think the game in midweek showed that we're starting to pick up. Daz is starting to pick up pockets a little bit higher up in the areas we want him, and Flatty, and I'm really pleased.
Yeah, really happy.
Great. Fixtures came out this week, albeit not the full slate, but we've got August fixtures. Quite a lot of away trips. Is that something? Do you take any note of that, or?
No, not really. I think at the end of the day, you're going to play the same amount of games at the end of the season, whether you play them home or away. It is what it is. We take each game as they come, and we assess it as we go along.
Yeah, last one from me, I guess. Pre-season's sort of wrapping up now. If you had a message to give to the fans watching for the season upcoming, what to look forward to, what would you tell them?
I think just going on from the end of last year, and even the hashtag game to get 450, 500 people for a friendly is unbelievable. And hopefully, with what the boys do on the pitch, we can keep building on that and keep building the relationship and enjoy what we're going to do.
Lovely. Well, thank you for your time, and I'm sure we'll check in later in the season.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
Should we carry on?
I'm knackered.